Being a pastor's child comes with different challenges, and it can be different challenges for different people. But in this video, I want to talk about the mistakes that I made and I wish I didn't do as a pastor's child. And the first one, which is to me, which was the most unnecessary mistake that I made, was neglecting my father as a spiritual mentor. So I think that I saw my father as just other people's pastor. I saw my father as just my father, but other people's pastor. But in a sense, I didn't really see him as my own spiritual pastor. I didn't. So if I had any struggle I was dealing with, or any sin I was dealing with, I just didn't see the need to meet him. Not because he wasn't available, but because I just overlooked that part of him. I kind of confined his role to just a father and a pastor to others, and I never really saw him as my own personal pastor. And the reason I'm sharing this video is to help many pastors' children see your father as first your father, then also see him as your spiritual mentor if you don't have any. Because me, I didn't have any. Since my father was a pastor, there was no need going to seek for any other spiritual mentor because my father was the pastor. So in other words, I didn't really have a spiritual mentor aside my father. And now my father that is supposed to be my spiritual mentor, I'm not really seeing him and regarding him as my spiritual mentor. And it was a mistake that I made as a child. The second mistake I made as a pastor's child was that I was so interested in trying to make sure that I confined to what people believe that I should do. So there was a lot of sense of people pleasing that was building up in me. You know, smiling too long, greeting too long, which is not bad. But I believe that if I had spent more time working on my relationship with God rather than trying to make other people have a better perspective of who I am, I would have grown much more than I did when I was a child. The third mistake I made as a pastor's child was that at some point I became too judgmental of others. You know, because when you are so close to the spiritual atmosphere that is a pastor's home, you might be tempted to see other people from different backgrounds as, you know, just not your type. So it affected my relationship with a lot of people. I began to view people a bit judged. I didn't know that I was becoming a monster without knowing it, and this was no one's fault. This was my fault. So growing up more and more, I've learned that people are coming from different spiritual backgrounds, and I've learned to accommodate them. I've learned to love them. I've learned to not judge them. Sometimes I've learned it in a hard way, because at some point it was as though I didn't have enough friends. I didn't even have many friends, because even without me speaking, mind you, I don't speak, or I don't act in such a way that the person will think he's judged. But maybe by looking at me, and maybe by looking at my expressions, the person already feels judged. And I found out that that was not a plus on my side. That was actually a minus, because Jesus in the scriptures, sinners were attracted to him. I mean, sinners that were willing to change were attracted to him. They were not repelled by his presence. Thank you so much.